think outside the box, if you will. I mean, go there, go off campus. Let's think this through. And sure enough, that's where the Mustang was born. When it finally hit, it took the country by storm.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Cars in Context. I'm your host, John Clor. This is the Motor City, and this is the show where we put cars into the context of your everyday life. There's a lot of experience on this little anchored desk today that we'd love to share with you, but I'll make no apologies for my decidedly Detroit perspective. And today we're going to give you a perspective about something that used to be so near and dear to our hearts: automotive racing. Auto racing was fun, it was cool, it was the place to go. We all did it, we all watched it, we watched it on television, we followed it, but now auto racing is starting to in a huge decline, and we're going to try to sort out why is auto racing losing viewers and fans? What's going on and what can be done to fix it? And to sort it all out, we brought back, that's right, you guessed it, our special guest host, Chris Sawyer of thevirtualdriver.com. Chris, every time you come on the show, you make a show out of it. Because otherwise, it's just me here talking to myself.
Well, it'd be sort of like, well, that's just every day for you.
Yeah, so the guy goes, yeah, so it's Chris Sawyer, the only guy you know, since you always keep having Chris Sawyer on. I said, no, this is the format of the show, folks. See, this is how it works.
Are people complaining?
No, I mean, I want you all to send in all of your mail, because we love mail, because that way Lauren Parrott gets to come up and bring us more good stuff.
That's
but
right.
Before we find out why racing is losing fans and what can be done about it, we have to find out something else.
What's in the news?
That's correct. God, you've been on this show so many times before you actually know what's going to happen next. Ooh. It's like you're psychic.
Psychotic, yes.
That's true. So speaking of racing, we kick off a new year in 2015, and we start the year with the 24 Hours of Daytona. Endurance racing is fun because it's like if you want to watch a race on television for 3, 4, 5 hours
or more,
Daytona is a 24-hour race. So yeah, and a lot of people go down, they camp out, and it's like a crazy thing. So, but here's the good news about this whole thing. This year, where usually Detroit automakers are not even on the radar. This year, the Detroit makers did really, really well. A Ford EcoBoost engine and a Ganassi Daytona prototype powered its way past everybody else to take the overall win in their class. Yep. A Pratt & Miller Chevrolet Corvette won the class in GTLM, and a Dodge Viper won the GT Daytona class. And a Chevy-powered car from PR1 Motorsports took the win in the PC class. This series, these cars are all the winners, but this series has 53 entrants, and they're fielding Ferraris and Porsches and BMWs and Aston Martins and Audis, Hondas and Mazdas. Oh my! I mean, and we're doing pretty well, don't you think?
Oh yeah,
that was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See,
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Well, it's just amazing what you can do when you put your mind to it.
That's what my mother always said, and I never listened to her. But anyway.
Okay, so everything's coming up roses. So now every sponsor in the world want to jump on board, right?
No.
Okay.
Sprint just dropped NASCAR.
The Sprint Cup, the Winston Cup.
Don't you hate that when they do that? Yeah, back in 1842 when you won the Sprint Cup. No, it wasn't the Sprint Cup back then. It was the Winston Cup.
Now,
Stop that.
So Winston got out because cigarettes are bad. And
yes.
Yeah, and so now Sprint, which if few people have Sprint, I'm sorry. No, Sprint, I mean, so why doesn't Sprint want to be with NASCAR?
Well, there could be a problem with the direct correlation to the reduced number of viewers. It seems to be costing them major sponsors. Sprint's announced that's not returning as a primary sponsor in 2016.
No way.
No.
You got to be kidding me. Why?
Don't you? It's just
the
like
millions
like when you were a kid, your mother used to come up and wipe you when you were eating.
I know.
Wow.
Well, I need adjustments every now and then.
Yes, hopefully that's all you need. The wireless provider has been with the series since 2008. So
NASCAR, folks, when your major sponsor says, you know what, the ROI, return on investment, is not there.
I thought it was Roy.
But Roy, it's return on
shows
investment.
You what I know.
Yeah.
I flunked accounting.
So speaking of NASCAR,
Twice.
check this out, Chris.
Yeah.
You know, NASCAR thought that so many people love racing that they're going to build this big Hall of Fame down at Charlotte, North Carolina.
Delusional.
They built this gigantic museum.
Well,
they filled it full of historic race cars.
You got to do more than that. Who wants to just sit there and go look at race cars?
What's wrong with you?
What do you mean, what's wrong with me?
Well,
I'm a charter member of the Henry Ford. The best thing they ever did there was to go and start mixing things
changing.
up.
Oh, well, apparently, here's the problem now. The city of Charlotte, they're saying, listen, you were supposed to do 400,000 people a year. The best you did was 170. So now the city's got to bail out the museum. Now, the cars are great. They go back to the 40s. But maybe it means
now,
that...
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. NASCAR just signed a multi-billion-dollar television deal, and the city's got to bail out their damn
I don't
museum?
understand that. And then listen, here's what they... So they asked, what's going on? And he said, aging demographics. That means you. Well, yes, okay. Yeah. Baby boomers are affecting... And they said, not only are you ruining sports... You aging baby boomers are more golf courses closed last year.
That's because we're dying.
That's right. And collector cars from the 30s and 40s and 50s, they're less popular because the people who own them passed from the scene.
That's because nobody got these young whippersnappers interested in these
That's right.
things.
And know what else? Sports like hunting and fishing, nobody's doing that anymore either.
It will be when when this whole thing collapses. Anybody seen my teeth?
What are you, Jonathan? Jonathan Winters? No. So what are you saying? That NASCAR needs to be like Madonna and reinvent itself?
We'll get to that. We'll
Well,
get to that. A
hope
lot needs to be
NASCAR doesn't
done.
turn into a Matador and show us their rear end.
Ooh.
Oh,
Here's a new one for you. Yeah, that was a visual I didn't do.
sorry, it stopped there. Yeah, it stopped me for a minute too.
Speaking of declining viewership, last year Formula One lost 50 million viewers worldwide.
Wait, they lost 50?
And that's just what they admit to.
So if they lost 50 million, that means they had them in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. So Formula One's very expensive, but some automakers think it's a better bang for your buck than other racing series.
Formula One?
Yeah. The BBC reports that Mercedes spent $161 million on F1 last season. It was more than that, double that number, including sponsorship and prize money. Oh, maybe that's what they took in.
Okay, well.
That's what their out-of-pocket was, but the total cost is closer to $400 million. The global advertising value of Mercedes television appearances was rated at $2.8 billion. That's a pretty good return on investment.
But for Formula One cars, they're like spaceships.
That's right. Compared to that, Volkswagen, which fields cars in 3 other motorsports programs, spent twice as much as Mercedes, nearly $400 million, but the global ad value was pegged at only $30 million.
Well, that's a terrible investment.
Exactly.
That's terrible.
That's why there's rumors, again, for the 700 millionth time, that the Volkswagen Group will want to get into F1. Problem? VW's chairman, Ferdinand Piëch, and F1 boss, Bernie Ecclestone, really don't like each other. But they're both old men, will probably die soon.
Oh, that's terrible. It's
true.
Terrible, terrible thing to say.
True.
That's terrible, and Formula One racing is just...
Bernie's over 80, for God's sakes.
Sorry to senior citizens. We love you all. Gramps, I'll see you when I get home. Actually, my grandfather died in 1960. So, shoveling
Really?
snow. Yeah. So,
Is he still propped up in that chair in the living room?
No, we have ashes, they all fell down.
Oh.
So, speaking of racing.
Yes.
Now, there's not everybody wants to throw everything away. You remember when motorcycles used to race?
Yeah, they still do.
They do. Well, but now Harley Davidson is the greatest name in all motorcycles to me. Forget all your foreign brands.
Oh, yeah, like Indian.
Yeah. Well, they're saying, instead of the races don't get as many people as the rallies.
Oh, yeah, no, true.
So the folks I know use
Sturgis is
Sturgis. I've actually been to Sturgis, not on a motorcycle, but in a car. If you actually drove to Sturgis on a motorcycle, like all the way there, you'd be in the hot tub for like 3 days. Just
yeah,
that's a long way.
Iron Butt Brigade.
It's terrible. Yeah, but so Harley, to mark the 75th year of the Sturgis Rally, will be there. They said they're going to sponsor this thing again. They signed a deal that'll make the official sponsor of the rally until 2090. 2090.
You'll be like this. You'll be talking like that by 2090.
I'll long be dead. I'll be 100 and, gosh, I don't know how many years old at that point.
One word, formaldehyde.
132.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Hey, it worked for Walt Disney.
Yeah. No, that's terrible. Anyway, so not all investments are bad. I mean, maybe when people are involved, and you just got to be able to do something where the people are. And I think that really is the problem.
As long as they don't call it the Sturgis Rally brought to you by Harley Davidson, much like this park brought to you by such and such. And the parks
Yeah,
don't
that
have
kind of
names anymore.
changes it.
That's garbage.
And part of it is, these guys who get their second childhood and they're middle-aged men, they buy their Harleys, and they go out there, they see all these young girls scantily clad, driving around, drinking beer. It's crazy. Okay, it does sound like fun, doesn't it?
That does, yeah.
What am I talking about? Sorry. Let me
See
take
you
that
there.
all back. I took it back. So anyway, we'll get into this topic about racing, but before we do that, Chris, we have to do car trivia time.
Yeah.
And this is when we give a really cool trivia question out there, and you guys, we know you can get it. Test your skill. Someday we're going to have to give out prizes for all the people that are getting it right, because nobody's ever fessing up that they actually know the hell we're talking about.
Or that they're getting it wrong.
Yeah, okay. So this question is based on today's topic, Chris. Here it is.
Okay.
When was NASCAR founded? And NASCAR, in case you don't know what it stands for the National Association for Stock Car Racing.
Auto racing.
Yeah.
Got to get that last
Well,
K in
the
there.
auto racing.
Right.
Yeah, NASCAR.
NASCAR.
When did they start NASCAR? When was it officially founded?
And you know what? The Daytona 500 is this weekend. I'm sure in that 5-hour pregame, we'll know at least 5,000 or 6,000 times when it started.
Somebody should be paying attention. If you were paying attention, you'll get the answer to this, but we'll give you the answer right after this. Hi, and welcome back to Cars in Context. I'm your host, John Clor. Today we're going to explore why racing is losing so many fans. What is going on with the whole sport of auto racing, and what can they do to fix it? And to answer that question with us, we've got Chris Sawyer of the virtualdriver.com.
Hi, John.
Wow. I love your blog. It's really, I mean, the deal is, Chris, there's so many blogs out there, and nobody knows anything. Seriously, we've been around for so long. And even though we look so good.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we've been along. I mean, between us, we have like decades of automotive experience, and we want to share that with everyone, because if we don't, our women just
We also want to make
shut
money.
up in there, stop
right.
talking. You have to tell someone this stuff, and you guys should write this down. And speaking of writing things down, I hope you took the trivia question in.
Yes.
Because today, since racing's our topic, our trivia question was, when was NASCAR founded? So, and then we'll give you the answer. You ready? NASCAR was officially incorporated on February 21st, 1948.
It just seems like longer.
I know, it's a post-war phenomenon. Now, that's amazing to me. I mean, but back in '48, you came back from the war. The guys wanted to rambunctious. They wanted things to do. They took the tire out of the back of the car, the back seat out, and they actually raced on the beach stock cars. It was their car.
Not like those V8 powered rear wheel drive Ford Fusions we've got now.
Which we have a plastic body and a carburetor.
Which you can't buy from the dealer.
Yeah, so that may have something to do with this whole thing. So I hope you got that answer right. It was February 21st, 1948. But that gets us right into our show topic today, Chris. What has really happened to stock car racing and all of racing? I mean, I've know people that go to MIS every year to see the NASCAR race. Chris, the place is like half empty now.
Yeah.
I mean, something is going on.
Part of the problem is this.
I blame the kids.
Yeah, well.
What do you mean you don't want to go with us? Well, okay, we'll go by ourselves.
I want to watch this on my phone. Yeah.
So then, what's going on, Chris?
Part of the problem is that, remember, racing was a sport of the 70s when we were growing up.
Yeah.
The 70s was going to explode. We're going to be everywhere. It wasn't on TV. You couldn't watch it. Now it's everywhere. You can watch it on TV.
Yeah.
And maybe because we have it, we don't appreciate it as much. But that's, I think, only part of the problem. People aren't interested anymore. Should we? Where do you want to start? Should we start with NASCAR?
Let's start with that. All right, that's the biggie. That's the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Why are they not going to NASCAR? There's bumping and smashing.
Okay, well,
Billy Bob and Billy.
Let's start with this one.
What the heck?
NASCAR races are interminable. They go on forever. They're like basketball games. Basketball
the
games
last
in
5
NASCAR.
minutes of a basketball
First
game.
5 minutes, middle 5 minutes, last 5 minutes. You don't need to know anything else. Cut the number of laps and miles back for all but the Daytona 500, the Charlotte 600, and maybe up to 3 more races.
So you want what?
Only 5 races that are 500 miles or more.
So you want 200-mile races?
250 miles. Let's get it done in 250 miles or less.
250 miles? We want that to work.
Add more road races. There should be 5. Wouldn't you like to see these cars at Road America? Wouldn't you like to see them at Road Atlanta?
You mean they turn right and left?
Hell yes. That's fun watching those guys do that.
Yeah,
And even at a crappy track at Sonoma, I'd rather see him at Laguna Seca.
Didn't they make a song about that? Dun, 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 my Sonoma.
Okay. Eliminate all the second visits to tracks like MIS,
Definitely not.
Pocono, you name it.
Polk, oh no.
Exactly. Thank you, Larry Etzel. Reduce the size of the engines on the super speedways so you can eliminate the need for restrictor plates and
okay.
the big one accidents. And reduce
That's
the number...
what people watch for, Chris. They just
No,
want to
they
see the cars. No?
No.
Really?
And reduce the number of races to a max of 25.
But they have hundreds of baseball games.
Yeah, but this is the family-friendly racing series, and yet families are broken up because these guys are working from all the way to November. I mean, it's January to November, and they get a little time off. I'm surprised they have any kids at all.
Yeah, that's.
But what's really wrong with racing?
Yeah, okay? That's it. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What's really wrong with racing?
Aerodynamics, technology. Face it, the cars are getting too fast for the tracks. The ground effects technology, which uses the underside of the car to create
and the spoilers, downforce. They
made
stick like
it possible to triple the effective weight of the car.
Oh,
These things were stuck to the ground. You literally, at 100 miles an hour, could drive a Formula One car upside down on the ceiling.
that's crazy.
The advent of wings with greater depth and more elements meant that it was tougher for the cars to follow because you were stuck in the backwash, and your wings didn't work.
Yeah, that's true.
So you got to get rid of that stuff. But let's go through
The
a
only
couple other
wings that
things.
should be out there are on the Victoria's Secret models.
Exactly. Let's take a look at a couple other things. IndyCar. That series died when the series split in 1996.
Yeah, that's...
Until that point, CART, Championship Auto Racing Teams, was way bigger than NASCAR. People were going home and watching it on the weekend.
Yeah.
You know what? It didn't take 5 freaking hours to watch the damn thing. It was 2 max, and that
You
was
don't have
it.
5 hours anymore?
Heck
What,
no.
you got to write for the virtualdriver.com?
Well, yeah, if I keep on coming on the show.
Okay. Yeah, you better. Okay, then keep writing.
Formula One was worried about its growth because CART was so big.
Yeah,
but
they
selfish owners, and stupidity from Tony George in Indianapolis created a split that's not healed yet.
Yeah, that was greed.
Today's spec racer certainly isn't the answer. Everybody says, well, we got to do it because we don't have any money. Bull. Bull. Don't give me that crap. Indy was all about technology. Cars look different from each other.
Yeah.
Aero kits won't help. And you'll see the picture there of the Chevy Indy car. Yeah, okay. Put in a fuel use formula. Say 300 cc's of fuel per minute.
Well, that'd be cool.
Based on the
Which car goes the farthest on so much?
exactly. And you say 300 cc's per minute. That works out to so many miles per gallon. You can't exceed that. but
Think
you
all those
can
little
be below
Priuses
it.
go around the track?
No, not quite.
That funny, Conan O'Brien?
You'd find that the fuel efficiency would go up exponentially.
Yeah, okay.
Have very strict cockpit safety regulations. Have strict rules on overall length, width, height, minimum, maximum for all of these things of the car, as well as weight.
Yeah, I've been
way,
struggling with the weight issue for a long time.
The rest of it is left up to the constructor. And one of the problems we got into is you had Lola and all these other guys who needed to build 25 cars to make it profitable. No, it used to be that Dan Gurney used to build 5 cars.
Yeah, see, they're custom. Like,
You know.
okay, I'll
leave
tell you,
that
Chris.
up to and you want to really make this interesting?
I do.
Raise a purse of $5 million for racing for winning the Indy 500, and a further $5 million for winning the championship in the same year.
So you wouldn't have this Chase formula? and all
No,
this.
Chase is garbage.
Is-
Chase was created because NASCAR was going up against basketball and football.
Sometimes it was Detroit basketball.
Yeah,
and and it's just,
exactly.
folks, racing is, to me, for my time that I spend watching it, I don't like the fact that stock cars are not stock cars.
Or even close.
Now, it's really cool if, like the Australians, they take their sedans that they buy on the road. Now, I'd love to see.
We should do more of that.
Yeah, I'd love to see the real cars that you see on the road. Like take your grandma's car and your
And you know
aunt's
what?
car
If
and your brother-in-law's
Nissan-
and go race them, see which one's better.
If Nissan can go out and create a Le Mans car, and they're going to race it this year at Le Mans, that's front-wheel drive with 900 horsepower.
Right.
750 is going through the front wheels, and the excess is going through the rear. Come on, you can have a lot of fun.
To me, it was fun when this car, even in the 60s, when I was watching TV.
Let's face it.
My dad had that Mercury, and it had that 390 motor in it, or that 428.
Right.
You know, now it's like, it's a plastic go-kart with, and if to change it from a Fusion to an Impala,
You change the decals.
the stickers are different.
Right.
It's just, to me, it's like drone racing.
And then there's Formula One.
Well, now open-wheel cars, Chris, you know, the only time that's fun is when you go to the cart-to-cart. I mean, open-wheel
Now,
cars.
I've always loved open wheel cars.
I know you have, but
I have.
you know, but your brother told me you were always a little different.
I was dropped on my head when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But Formula One is too insular, and it's run by thieves and brigands.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about it.
Okay.
The current hybrid formula is an absolute mess. It's a spec formula. It's nothing more. It's an expensive
Young people, like when
spec
my dad was a cop, so he said you can't go street racing on Gratiot or Gross Spec or whatever. You got to go.
So you went on Telegraph, didn't you?
Well, I might have, but so I drove out to the old Detroit Dragway and to drag race your own car. And when you broke it, and Jenny used to say, if you break it again, don't come home. So I mean, and then I get towed home, and it's really great. So, but nowadays, road racing, you can enter like SCCA is the biggest car club in the world, and people then you
But
can
the
go.
SCCA's problem is it's so poorly run that it never has done anything.
Hey, folks, it's really in a bad mess.
Right, but here's the thing: Formula One says we're hybrid. You know, we're faster than last year, and we're using 30% less fuel. That should be great.
You got to be faster than that.
I've got you $1.
That's your dollar.
But the whole problem with that is, does anybody really care?
No.
Is hybrid that important? A lot of people who are apologists for Formula One say, that's important, that's important.
So you
what
young
if you're
people out
do
there,
that?
you millennials who are not watching, we understand. We
Yes,
do. We do.
it's
And we,
awesome.
as you can tell, we get it. We want it fixed too. I think if we
Exactly.
fix it.
And here's how to do it. Formula One, fix it this way. If you're going to have a hybrid, do it the mall way. Say, here's the energy rules. Here's how much energy you can use. How you use it
cool
is
is
up
that?
to you.
Can
Then
Chris Sawyer now
set a budget limit. Some of these teams are spending.
They throw so much money at it.
$350
It's just like you kids that had your
million.
science experiment. You were supposed to make it out of popsicle sticks yourself, but some guy worked so-and-so. He worked at a tool and die shop, and he put like $800 on his dad made it, and you can't compete. Come on.
John. It's okay.
Oh, sorry.
Grade school is over.
But I did make it out of
Grade
popsicle sticks.
school is over. And eliminate any special deals for the long-lived teams, and this means you, Ferrari, or those central to keeping the current power brokers in power.
See, that's true.
But it'll never happen.
Okay, well, God, that was so. Folks, we really want you to come back to auto racing. We think it's great, but you're right. We have to make these fixes, and I say, write it into me, jclarkcarsandcontext.com. We want Chris Sawyer to be the new auto racing czar. That's what we do in the United States. We make a czar. So you're the czar.
As long as I don't
of
have
the
to work for the
car.
administration,
We had a
it's okay.
car czar before. We want Chris Sawyer to be the auto racing czar of America, and you'll fix all this for us, won't you?
I'll do my best.
Well, there goes the virtualdriver.com. He'll be too busy. So anyway, so now,
I know what's next.
how do you know what's next?
I'm reading ahead.
Oh, damn it.
It's the pig of the week. Oh, wait a minute. That's a misprint.
It's
Pick of the week.
Pick of the week. That's right. Pick of the week. Now, sometimes we do offer a video, but this time this is called the pick of the week. Now, this is when you send a photo that you think is funny or cute or notable, and you send it to me, J. Clor, Cars and Context. We put it on the air. So this time, we had a horrible winter.
Really?
Yeah. Right.
I don't know. It's only 27 degrees warmer than it was this morning.
Well, when is global?
It's only 7
when
out
is
there.
global warming getting here? Hurry up, Glor. Anyway, I don't want to move to Phoenix. So here we go. This picture,
my goodness.
looking out from his building, he looked down and
Nice.
he saw the snow was coming down like crazy, and he left his sunroof open. Oh,
Nice.
The snow.
Darwin Award winner.
Well, see, now, folks, now here's my question. So you leave your sunroof open, it's snowing like crazy, you know it's going to be inside your car, right? But why do you have the sunroof open
In
on the way to
winter?
work?
I don't know.
You know why? Because you're probably smoking that wacky tobacco and you don't want that smell.
That's right. Was that in Colorado,
But
by
they're
the way?
going to smell it. They know what it smells like. People.
That's right. The dilated
opening
eyes will give them away.
Yeah, opening the sunroof's not going to help. But that's a great shot. Looking down, if you're upset, oh, I left my sunroof. Oh, that's got to be a sinking feeling. Because you know when you get home, you're going to have, your pants are going to be wet.
Oh, yeah. And
Anyway,
cold.
That's right. But now we have another picture thing we love to do.
Pride in my ride.
That's right. This is when people get to send in their photo of their favorite car and then tell us why they have pride in their ride. And this week, This guy has appeared on Pride My Ride before. He saw his appearance on Pride My Ride and was so excited. He goes, well, wait a minute. I had another car somewhere.
A repeat
He
Prider.
saw this on the YouTube channel. This is a picture of Gord Phillips of Quesnel.
He's got to be from Canada. Gord.
Gord. It's right. He's from Quesnel.
Hey, Gord, how's it going, eh?
British Columbia in Canada. And he sent us that picture of that cardiac Mustang,
yeah.
the one at the Autorama, the Riddler Award winner. Well, now he's sending us this picture. This is his 1968 Mustang drag car that he built back then. He raced the bejeebers out of this thing. And he said, John, I had this car for many, many years. A lot of people don't recognize it. Thank you for putting me on Pride of My Ride. No, Gord, thank you for sending in your photo to Pride of My Ride. We appreciate that.
And you know, when you
much.
race the bejeebers out of it, you can always buy some more bejeebers.
Where do you get them?
It's the 5 and dime.
Okay. No, you mean Meyer. So now it's time. This is the favorite time of the show. Now you guys, you tell us this. We need to spend more time on this. This is when we asked Lauren Parrott of WMTV to check the mailbag. So Lauren, would you check the Cars in Context mailbag and tell us, is there any mail this week?
Where the hell is she?
Lauren? Well, this is the first time we haven't had any mail. Lauren.
There is mail.
Oh, there is. Oh, Lauren. Oh, for a minute there, folks, I thought we'd have to fill some dead. We do have mail.
You do.
Sneaking up on us,
Thank
Lauren.
you.
Pretty darn
I
tricky.
work so hard
I know.
at finding
Thank
good
God
mail for you guys.
Thank God you found this. For a minute there, we were having to do these little animal puppets. For look,
I am crushing your head.
yeah, okay.
Yes.
Chris, why don't you take Lauren's fantastic mail this week?
Okay, this one comes to us from Mike L. of Novi, who watches Cars in Context on AT&T Uverse Channel 99, as do I.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Dear Chris,
Yes.
I see big patches of empty stands at NASCAR races these days.
Yeah, we just talked about this.
Yeah, and I hear the TV ratings are down. I blame the television coverage. With the pre-race and post-race coverage, a NASCAR weekend to take up at least 5 hours of TV watching time, and even avid sports fans don't have that kind of time. What do you think TV networks can do to fix this problem?
Networks can do.
Well, one of the things they can do is quit signing these stupid contracts with NASCAR that says you have to put up 54 hours a week of NASCAR coverage. Is what killed the Speed Channel. It became the NASCAR channel,
Yeah,
despite
that's
what
right.
they would like you to believe.
You know,
NASCAR is fine, but they've killed the golden goose by oversaturating everything.
yeah, now that
You know, what your mother used to say, you know, would say to the daughter would be, keep a little mystery, don't give it all away.
I agree.
Well, we need some mystery.
And now they're doing
lots
stupid things
of
like
it.
Danica Patrick's getting into fights or punching people on the pit row. And, why don't they do something like the NFL, like deflate their tires or something? I don't know. We're trying to have
I'm
the
not going there.
Very
100 things
good,
just ran
Mike,
through
for
my mind. You
that.
can't say
Thank
on
you for
TV.
that. I'll find. Okay, I've got one.
Okay.
This one comes to us from Andrew C. of Grosse Pointe Woods, who watches Cars in Context on Comcast. That's cable channel 915.
HD.
HD, buddy. And you're
Andrew,
looking
you're doing
mighty
okay.
high def right
That's
there,
right.
I'm going to tell you. Are you deaf?
Not high.
Okay, good. Anyway, so this says, Dear John, one of my favorite segments on Cars in Context is Pride in My Ride. Ours too.
Well, Andrew, send in a photo. Come on, of your car.
But
Come
did you
on.
know, John, that you featured the same guy's car twice?
I did?
I saw some guy named Jason Shembry of Livonia and his Hot Rod Mustang in episode 78 about millennial marketing. Then I saw it again on episode 80 about ugly cars when you misidentified his car as a 95 instead of an 85 Mustang. How did that happen? Okay, I think Lauren Parrott switched the photos because we were looking for her. Lauren Parrott must have. Lauren. It wasn't you. Okay.
Don't even think about it.
It wasn't you that. No. Okay, then Andrew.
Yeah, because doesn't John provide the photos?
Well, no, I think it was
Yeah?
Chris Sawyer of the.
Oh, no.
Well, I think it was Jeremy
no.
Dulac back there behind. I think it was Tom Amore. Okay. Well,
I
listen.
think it was John Clor.
I think it was John Clor.
It wasn't you,
You
Lauren?
know what, John?
Lauren,
Let's
could you have at least said it was you? Then it could have gone out of the
look,
segment.
John, we're on episode 84, right?
Yeah.
So that was episode. You did 78 episodes. Well, actually, 80 without a problem.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's
All right, so
that's way better than
all right, let me
government.
apologize to
First, you better
Andrew.
apologize to Lauren.
Sorry,
before
Lauren,
she-
I didn't mean to throw you. I didn't think you would come out here.
she-
All right, so I will go back and check to make sure you're right. But yeah, don't make me repeat. Maybe I left it on my
don't
I
apologize.
left it on my desktop. I'm sorry. That won't happen again. Keep sending us in to jclark@carsandcontext.com.
Keep watching.
Chris, we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're
We'll join
welcome,
you
John.
on thevirtualdriver.com. And make sure you join us. Remember next time that knowledge is power. I'm your host, John Clor. Thanks for watching.